now I had some time to study this whole entire plumbing system and just kind of think about what I really want to do here. And I don't like that the pump is located right here, because then it's kind of hard to access for maintenance. And I didn't like that it was on the wall. So I'm going to move the pump to the other side so it's accessible from the outside on the door hatch. Because this is where the water comes in. And you can have it pretty much any orientation except with the pump head that way. It has to be facing down. So maybe I can do it this way, but I have to create a little platform. Those two up there, that's the one for the wet bath faucet. And the one coming down over here into this with the white, that's the toilet. And I like this area because easy to access. The only thing I have to consider is insulating this door panel, because it's just like an aluminum piece. And then clean up all of this, put new seals. You have your water heater over here, city water, your kitchen faucet. Then you have your wet bath vanity faucet and the wet bath shower head connected here. Your cold and your hot. Your hot's on the left hand side. Your freshwater tank, you have a drain. Then you also have on the top part of it, you have a vent. Then you have this, the low pressure side, the pump, some flexible hose, and they would shoot across, and that's that T part that you saw earlier. Oh, and then you also have another one feeding the toilet. So what I'm thinking is I'm gonna move this pump. So I'm essentially just gonna connect to here and get rid of all of this stuff. And right here where it's dotted, I'm gonna put the new pump, the accumulator tank, and 2 valves for maintenance. That way I don't have rushing water coming out. And since I'm working with the plumbing system, I'm gonna just go ahead and use PEX. It's pretty cool stuff to work with, and it's not even that much. So looking underneath the sink, the hot and the cold, this is the main that runs along that wall. You have the city connection right there. Then it just comes straight down, does a 90. Comes out this way to connect to the water heater. So all this I'm gonna replace with PEX, and it doesn't have to have all these bends in it. Like that can probably be eliminated. Alright, so I have to remove those two, but I can barely fit because they're way up here. Oh, shit. No way. Can't reach it. Oh, wait, no, there is a way. Alright, I'm facing up inside. See that? Ugh. I have my back against the little hatch in here. Oh. Stuck. So that's why it doesn't come out. Tricky. I think I have a tool that might work. A little ratchet. Now I should be able to pretty much pull it out. Dun, 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 dun. And just like that, new one's in there. They're like mushy Play-Doh and they're disintegrating. They're a little bit different than the existing ones, but these are a lot better because the gasket is attached to this piece and then it just goes in, and then with this it just compresses together. So in order to remove that one, I'm going to do it from the outside. That's how dirty it was, and it stinks so bad. So I'm gonna measure them out about 17. Just cut. That makes a nice squared cut. This is the bar bend. Push this in, just about 1/8 of an inch, and then using your specialty tool for them. I like this one because this one actually can cut as well if you make a mistake. Until it flattens out, and then it opens. And there you have it. What's cool about the plastic ones is that they already have the gauge to tell you how far to go in and then where to put the actual little collar, because it has those tabs. The stops are right there, so it gives you the right amount. Those are hand tight. Just roughed it in. Now I'm gonna put in the 2 main branches. So I think I can. Oops. But that's the good thing, is that you can just bend this. So the plan is to put them like this on the wall so they look really clean. I also bought cheap holders. You put a screw onto the wall and then you snap them in like that. Then you get these 90-degree supports. This gives you the appropriate radius so that it doesn't kink. And then we just do the blue one right next to it. Okay, this is where we're at so far. I have it mocked up, and this is pretty cool. I like how this is coming out. Those 90-degree bends are pretty sweet because then you don't have to have another 90-degree elbow. And I think what I'm going to change is, instead of having elbows right there, I'm going to do something similar to what's here. So it'll be bends, and then it'll be a bend coming out towards me. That way I don't have to worry about it leaking right there. And I'm gonna get this one in there now. So this is the piece that you need if you want to connect it over here. When you go ahead and install this from the outside, you're spinning this one. You can cut these off if you make a mistake, and it comes with a no-go gauge, and it's adjustable. So as you use it and it wears out over time, you can adjust it, and you simply just put this in here, and if it stops, then you're good. But if it goes in all the way, then that's the no-go. Then you have to adjust it. In order to cut these off, you just open this and you use number 2, which is right there. And then this takes a little while to let loose, but see, now you can move it around. I'm using number 8, 3/4 inch. These are 15 threads per inch. This is what I matched with pretty much all the hardware that's already in the camper. But these are brand new, stainless steel. Same square drive. These are really, really nice. But most importantly, we got to make sure that everything is secured, because it's going to be a lot of vibration and we don't want these to ever have a leak. Now that there's not going to be any pump over there, we can continue on with finishing this part of it. This one here is the vent tube, and look at it. Some Scotch-Brite. Let's connect these two together. Blue Monster. I have this really crazy idea. I'm going to put in secondary containment for the freshwater tank to avoid any possibility of flooding, just in case any of the connections break back over there. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use this drain pan fitting that you see on your water heaters. It's usually this way, and then it's the pan itself. But I'm going to use a plastic sheathing to create like a tub for the secondary containment underneath the whole entire freshwater tank. I'm going to invert this. Then I'm going to use one of these PVC pipes. It's the only one I found that pretty much fits the inside of this. But by compression, it creates a really good seal. And I might glue it. And then I'm going to chop the whole top part of this off so it'll be very low to the flooring. And then where I have already the existing drain for the freshwater tank, it'll look something like this, or just go inside of there. And there's actually a lot of space in between, so that way the fresh water can drain outside of the camper. But if it floods or anything happens, the water would actually seep inside of here. There's still enough space. And on the outside, I'm going to put like a one-way rubber seal boot to keep the dust and other critters from coming inside. I just have to make sure that I raise the water tank probably like an inch or two. It is a little tricky to do, but once we have it in here, don't have to worry about it anymore. So the orange one is the positive for the pump, and the white is the negative for the pump. But what they did is they branched off of the negative to the sensors of the fresh water tank. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the white one here for the negative for the sensors, but I'm going to pull back this orange positive one for the pump. There you go. That's the one for the pump. There you go. So now it's going to slope towards the hole. So I bought this inlet, but the connection part here is actually too big for this tube. This one is 1 inch and 1/4, and this is 1 inch and 3/8. And this is the part that connected to the actual fresh water tank, and that goes nice and snug in there. I bought another one of these adapters, and luckily this part can actually be removed. It was much easier to find one of these than to find one that would connect to the fresh water tank and have the same kind of barbed connection that came with this. This tube in here, and on the other end, this is the one that's now going to go into the fresh water tank. I like this kind of barb style better. And this one's really tight. It's a little bit of soapy water so I can slide it in right there. Yeah. So if there's a small leak, it's just gonna create a little tiny puddle, and that's good because then you can actually tell if something is slowly leaking. You can just check on this every once in a while. But if something disconnects, something breaks, a nozzle cracks, and there's a lot of water, see, that's just a little puddle, and it'll probably stay like that. But if there's a whole bunch of water, it's all gonna drain out. There, you can hear it. It's pouring out. To keep the freshwater tank from sliding to the left or right, nice and solid. And there's a lot of carpet, butyl tape, and staples. It's a lot cleaner, no more staples. Now I see what I'm working with. I'll seal that up. Now let's come up with a really good way to put this pump in. I left that little hole right there because that's going to be for the drain. There's a weep hole, and this goes all the way through. The other one over here was actually clogged with dirt. Pretty sure it's dirt. Here's the arrow, and this needs to be facing down. So then this pump has to be this way or this way. But I don't want to put it here because then this area won't be really that useful. So I want to elevate this. So if I can make it somewhere up high, then this whole entire area I can put stuff. So what I'm doing is just flipping these rubber pieces the other way. I'm going to create a little housing for it. I'm going to put a coat of shellac to seal it all up. So most of the vibration isolation would be right here, and this one has its own rubber pads from where it was mounted. Then on the ground right here there's these, and on the interface between fastening it to this, I'm going to use just ripped off a rubber mat from a car. I was going to throw them away, but I just kept it in. Now I'm going to make a use for it, so I'm going to put that in between here. There's a little bit more access on the top because this piece is sloped outwards, so this will compensate. I'm going to be using some lag screws that I saved from another old project, and then a really long drill. There's insulation wrap in the back end so it doesn't rattle. Put in my collars, need 2 of them, one like that. And there you have it. Now the red one, that's just going to be an elbow and it's going to shoot back. Here's where I have to connect the 2. And those are all done too. Right about there. Turn that, bends up into the main branch to pressurize the whole system. Alright everybody, I think we're going to stop the video here. This is the last remaining part of the PEX system, but everything else is installed and it's good to go. And I wanted to leave this one to the end because I want to take out the water heater and I want to prepare for those tankless water heaters, the instant ones. But yeah, if you guys like this video, give it a like and thumbs up. You know, it's not too bad, and hopefully somebody can use it as a point of reference. All right, everybody, thanks for tuning in.